Hi everyone, I'm Ferd and welcome to my wood shop. Today I'm going to show you how to make a perfectly straight edge on a rough cut piece of lumber. I'm going to show you on a short one and I'll show you on one that's a little bit longer. I'm going to do it right here on the table saw. And you'll get a perfect straight edge every time. Whether the board's 18 inches long or 8 foot, you can use these techniques to straighten the edge. Let's get into it and enjoy the video. Okay, now in this first example, I'm going to show you. If you see the board up against the fence, it's touching back here, it bows in, and then it's touching up here at the front. Now, if you tried to run this board along the fence to straighten the edge, once it gets up to this end, it's going to fall off the fence and you're going to cut it deep on this end here. If the board was any longer, it would cut it right along that edge. Now, the other side is pretty much the same way. They can get a little more dramatic in there. Now, what you can do over here where we've got it touching here and there, I'm going to take a piece of wood that I know is already straight. I just straightened a bunch of these things, and you can see that it's flat all the way across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up against that board, and I'm going to push both boards through there at the same time. That'll give me a straight edge along this side of it over here that's getting cut. I got it up against my straight edge, and I'm going to move my fence over. I'm going to start with half the saw blade and run it across that edge and see what I come up with. Now on this side of it, you can see how it cut it in an angle, but that's okay. If you look on the edge of the board, it's got a nice smooth cut across it. And then when I put it over here against the fence, you can see I've got a nice straight edge all the way across it. Now all I have to do is run this side. It's a rough cut also. Without the board, I can run this one straight down through there now and get a perfect straight cut across this side of the board. I'll move my fence over, and I could take a measurement because it looks like it's bowed a little bit in the middle there, but I'll just take a little bit off. If it's still not right in the middle, then I'll come back and hit her again. That worked out pretty good. Flat on this side, flat on that side. I got a perfectly straight cut on both sides of the board. I've planed it down to 1 3/4 inches for 2 reasons. It's pretty close to the size that I need for the project that I'm working on, and also this next jig that I'm going to show you, that would be about the maximum thickness that you could use on it. But we'll put it up against the fence, and you can see right along the edge here, it's shaped like a banana. I'm going to flip it over the other way, and then you can see it goes the opposite that way. So I need to straighten this thing out. It may look a little strange the way that I'm going to do it. It's 5 inches at this end, and it's 5 1/4 at this end. So I'm going to put it in the jig, and start it at 5 inches and try to end it around 5 1/4, because I need as much of the thickness of this wood that I can get. So what I've got here, this is a 2x4, and I've had it for years and years. I think it was just a construction lumber 2x4, but along that fence it's still straight. I'm going to use this to straighten this out. How this thing works, it's got these 2 clamps. You kind of have to butt them in on the bottom. For a shorter board, I got them here. And then for a little bit longer board, I've got it cut out up at this end. You want to take your board and fit it in there just like that, and then secure it. Now, if I was to run this down this end, it would cut a straight edge. I'd start at 5 and it would end at 5 at that end. And if I turn it around, use the fence to straighten this side, I'm going to be less than that 5 inches that I need to get the pieces out of this that I want. So what I want to do is turn this thing around, and I want to put a straight edge on that first. So I'm going to snug this side down a little bit, and we'll bring out my measuring stick. I'm going to measure from here to there, and I'm at 5 5/8. So I want this side to be the same. I want it to be 5 5/8, and it's at 5 3/8, 5 5/8. That should give me a straight cut down this side. Now also, this is going to be cut at an angle, because if you see when I push down, it's going down like 1/8 of an inch right here. I try to keep it straight, but it never works out that way. So let me cut down this side and get me a straight edge on that. I got a straight edge all the way across the top. So now I'm going to take it off of here and cut the other side. You'll see on this side I've got a 1/16 of an inch gap right here. That's where it was laying down. I'm going to have to end up cutting that off. And on this side, you can see it's laying perfectly flush. Let me scoot it over. Shave a little bit at a time. And let's cut. Okay, I got a perfect straight cut on this side. Now all I have to do is flip it over and cut that angle off on this side. So I'm going to do the same thing, turn that angle down. I got a nice straight edge, and if I've got my blade set at 90 degrees, it should be 90 degrees, and you can see all the way down that it is. This side here, put it against the fence and just double check everything, and it's perfect. Perfect. Now that piece of walnut was a really complicated cut, but it got the job done, and I've got my two 2.5 inch pieces out of that screwed up shaped piece of wood that I had. And it was a bad example for what I was going to show you with this thing. But it's a good example to show you that there's no limitations to any of this. This board here is banana shaped. It's a little warped this way, but that's okay. So you load this thing up, put it all the way against the two tabs there. We're going to screw it down, and I can pretty accurately get at least a 6 foot long board straightened with just this small piece that I got here. Let's go ahead and cut the edges on this. And then we can take it off of there. Got all the meat out of the middle of it. And like I mentioned before, this is going to have an angle on this side of it, but that's a perfectly straight edge. We run it along that, it's going to get me a perfectly straight edge on this side. Then I could flip it back over and take the angle out of this side over here. And that's it for this one. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some good information out of it. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. Join the channel. Got a lot of videos up there. Got a lot more coming. Ring that notification bell. You'll get notified as soon as I put them up. Remember to stay safe in the shop. Around this stuff, always wear safety glasses. And have fun. Thank you for watching.